Good morning and welcome, Patriot Radio News Hour. I'm Joe Jaquint, CEO of the Patriot Trading Group. It is Friday, the 20th of March. Our toll-free number is 800-951-0592. In the next segment, because I want to get you all time to prepare, I'll be making a major announcement as it comes to the mints of the world, as it comes to the bullion banks here in the United States, and what product is available. And that will be simply that. Every day, as long as we're allowed to continue to operate, this is how we will operate. We will simply tell you what product is available from one day to the next. But I do have a major update. Obviously, I don't need to tell you. I'm sure you know California now is on lockdown. New York is on lockdown. Arizona has banned all bars, restaurants, only take out in the restaurants, all nightclubs, all gyms, all workout facilities, you name it, to be closed. Texas, the Lone Star State, also closing, same thing, right? The bars, the restaurants, retail is about done. This problem has grown significantly. I know you're going to sit there and say, but Wall Street's, it's not down 1,000 points, at least not yet. Believe me, it's going to get much worse before it gets better, and I don't say that to scare you. I have a lot of information to share with you today. I'm going to try to do it without getting too fired up and excited, but it's time. Your money is not safe. 800-951-0592. The United States and Mexico agree to restrict non-essential cross-border travel. Essentially, the only thing that's going to be allowed through the border are goods. Everything else is going to come to a halt. Again, news is traveling very, very quickly. And we'll try to do our best to get it out to you. Something we haven't talked about today, the central bank, again, every day now, it's more and more. I have no idea how big their balance sheet is now. We've lost all control of the municipal bond market, was suffering massive losses this morning. Listen, all these states and cities, and we know the pensions are broke, but now the revenue is gone. I mean, think about what California did today. The revenues are gone. They can't pay their bills. All their bonds were blowing out. The central bank has stepped into the municipal bond market. They bought, I know today alone, yesterday, remember we talked about they bought $75 billion of treasuries. Today they bought, I think it was $125 billion worth of treasuries. By this time next week, I think they're going to be buying hundreds of billions of dollars of bonds every single day as nobody is going to pay their bills. There is potential, and listen, this is real. And again, I don't care what you believe about overreaction or not. I mean, I think we're well past overreaction. But I want to give you some advice. If you want to get a roll of toilet paper, if you want to get eggs or a loaf of bread, you need to arrive at your store at least an hour before they open. By the way, all stores, I know you're noticing this, are shutting down early or opening up later and shutting down earlier and earlier. So you need to be there well before. At Walmart today, the store opened at 7. A few days ago, it was 6. Now it's 7. It used to be a 24-hour location. No longer. There was an excess of 400 to 500 people waiting in line. I know they ran out of toilet paper before everyone could get one. The only brand was Angel Soft. I don't know what that means for the other brands, but I'm assuming the other brands, that there's no inventory would be my guess. And I don't want to make toilet paper a big deal, but you could get eggs. You could get a loaf of bread. There was no canned goods. I've got people updating me every day. I got a bunch of texts throughout the night last night that, we know about the waiters and the waitresses and all of that, and the retailers that aren't food. Friend of mine, he works for a small home builder here in town. Great company, been around a long time. They just let 12 of their staff go, gave out pay cuts, and doesn't know how long that can, the people that are still working are going to be working. I got a call from a headhunter friend of mine, a recruiter. He owns a recruiting company. He employs about 16 to 18 people. He let half of his staff go this morning, and it just continues. The latest estimates now are 14 million people have lost their jobs. And obviously with the announcements out of New York, California, Arizona, and Texas today, that number is going to go even higher. Patriot Radio News Hour. I'll be back with you right after the break. 800-951-0592. That is our toll-free number. In a minute, I'll tell you what's available. Today, I had a conversation with our bullion bank. They are in California. They are at work. But he was told pretty much this morning, now they deal with every mint in the world. The Canadian mint, the South African mint, the Australian mint, Chinese mint, the Austrian mint, right? Obviously, the U.S. mint. Nobody will take an order. He said that the Royal Canadian Mint told him today they are closing. My guess is all of the mints of the world are going to close. I don't, right now, I obviously that just means that I think they know what's coming. We're not playing games anymore. You're talking, and I know I'm telling you 14 million people out of work before it's all done. We got a workforce about 150 million, give or take. Half of it could be out of work. And I'm not sure what's going to happen with all of that. He told Arlene that he believes that the premiums for gold will be $800 to $1,000 over. They're not there yet. I don't want you to, but I'm just telling you what he told me. That all of his employees sent all of his employees home. I actually bought all the last of the gold that he had, and he has zero product. And this is a mint or a bullion bank. We've been there before. Wendy's been there. Eric's been there. I've been there. I mean, this is a huge warehouse-type facility. And it's lined with cages. And every cage is a different dealer. Like we have our own cage at this bullion bank. And the floor there, I mean, there used to be just silver everywhere. Junk silver, silver bar, silver eagle, silver maple leaf, silver in gold. The gold was mostly locked up, but silver just was everywhere. It's gone. It's empty. And as we watch all of this play out, I can assure you that the solvency of these banks does not exist. because nobody can pay their bills. Retailers are now the latest now. They don't want to pay the rents. They don't have the money, and who can blame them? This thing, Jim Cramer today was out saying that there may only be 3 retailers left when this is over. Costco, Walmart, and Amazon. And that may be all that there is. S&P is now saying that 10% of all the high-yield bond market is going to go under. And if they're saying 10%, you know it's probably going to be more than that. Here's what I have today. I have 40 $5 Liberties. Now, yesterday we were running them on, they're not on sale. I have 40 at $470. I have 50 $10 Liberties at $900. I don't have any 20s. Now, I can get you higher. I can get 20s, but just plan on a cost of somewhere between $1,825 to $1,900 plus. There's nothing available. These would be there's a handful of AUs, but you're talking about mostly just graded 20s, and even those are in limited supply. 800-951-0592. There are rumors circling that UPS may be shutting down. This was from our Bullion Bank conversation this morning. If you don't know, California and New York have now ordered all non-essential workers to stay home. All non-essential workers to stay home. Today, Arizona and Texas have issued statewide mandates that all bars, restaurants, restaurants can be carry-out only, all gyms, all these other things to close. And so, we're dealing with a situation. I cannot tell you how many retailers are now closed. Pretty much all of them, if they're not a grocery store, are closing. And obviously this is a situation where yesterday I shared with you, I think what's going to happen is the whole country, and again, we play this game, I keep telling you, it's follow the leader, follow the leader, follow the leader. Banks are shutting branches. They're going to limit, nobody can go inside of a bank in most parts of the country. And this is expanding. Drive-through windows only. I think it's a matter of time, and I don't, it may not be, but days. They'll restrict withdrawals and things of that nature. This is a situation where, obviously with this virus, anybody that carries debt is going to have a hard time paying the bills. I mean, California's got 30 million people in it, 30 million, maybe 40 million people in it. Devastating to think that nobody can go to work except what they deem essential employees. A lot of states now are putting grocery stores workers as essential personnel. Obviously, essential personnel, police, medical, fire, right? Those things obviously keep the water and the power on. And if you work for a retailer, and a grocery retailer, to be essential personnel, that kind of means, and listen, I kind of shared with you, McDonald's can stay open, Taco Bell can stay open because their business was drive-through. All these other restaurants, they can't do it. And some can do it for a very short period of time. I can do it for a week, or I can do it for 2 weeks. None of them can do it for 90 days or 60 days. And we're going to see a lot more of these people be out of work and filing for unemployment claims. I think we're going to see millions of people at the unemployment claim office. Every time I turn around, next Thursday's number, somewhere between 1.5 to 3 million. It's the following Thursday's number. Right now, I'm going to start it at about 3 million, could be more. And this is a real situation. This isn't, panic. People are reacting to the news when California, New York, Texas, Arizona, say all these things. I'm told that the National Guard is being implemented in the vast majority of states. By next week, you'll probably see some form of law enforcement at the grocery stores to make sure that the lines stay civil. I know that a lot of states now are issuing out the National Guard. My guess is, by the way, Italy, I got to say this as well. Italy, this hasn't worked. So Italy did a countrywide thing, which we're all heading to, right? And I said, it's follow the leader. Okay, California did it. New York did it. Right, today I think Pennsylvania just did it, right? Ohio's going to do it, Colorado's going to do it, right? And then Arizona, it's just a domino. They're all going to do it. Italy did this. Italy's done this now for weeks. Today, Italy issued martial law because it's not, people keep breaking the thing. They go to work. They got, people need to feed their families. People need to eat. People need to do these things, and we're not used to it. Italy issued martial law today. If you are caught out in Italy today, I guess the military's coming for you to lock you up. I don't know. I don't know how it's all going to work. We'll have to watch all of this together. Again, I think that the amount of money that I keep thinking is going to be needed for this situation, I know earlier in the week I was saying, hey, I think it's going to be a $3 trillion deficit this year and a $3 trillion deficit next year. That's nowhere near enough. It's not. I think and I hate to say it, but we talk about these events, and they use these events, and everybody's going to be wiped out, and then they're going to tell you they're going to change the money. I think this is it. This is the one. It's too big. People are going to be out of work for months, and without money. When it reopens, it's not going to happen. Boeing, I'm waiting for the announcement. My guess, Boeing's going to try to hang on. They made an announcement yesterday saying that, hey, we're going to cut the dividend. We're in talks. Boeing's trying to threaten the government. We're going to shut down completely in Seattle and South Carolina all of their manufacturing and lay off tens of thousands of workers. And I think that's going to happen. It doesn't matter, right? It's happening. My guess is Boeing's going to want to wait till after the market closes today. But look for that. The Dow is gone negative now. The Dow is down right now almost 300 points, and I'll keep you updated. It's a tough day. I don't know what to tell you other than your money, your wealth is under attack. And I know, what? You think about it, gold right now is, gold's up $6, $7, $8, $14.85. Gold started the year at $1,500. So, I know, gold is the only, think about it. Think about everything else, everywhere else you put your money, it's losing money quickly. I don't know how long the banks will get liquidity from the central bank, but they're insolvent. Because listen, who thought every retailer in the country is going to close their doors, right? All of these employees are going to be out of work, and they've got to pay bills, and they can't, right? You can't do it. I think we'll see sometime. I would hope. But somehow people need some money. Somehow people need money, and I don't know how it's going to be, how it will work out. The size of the bailouts that are going to be are just going to be astronomical. I think the whole country is getting ready to. I think we're going to start with the on your honor system, stay at home type thing. I think the federal government is going to have to step in and stop all payments, right? No rents, no mortgages, no credit cards, no car payments. I mean, people, a third of the country is going to be out of work. And really, if a third of the country is out of work, who else is out of work? There's rumors now circulating that city and state governments are going to have to start laying people off on top. These are things we're not thinking about, headhunters and things of that nature, all the temp agencies. I mean, it's just so many people to think about, and it's one of those things where, my heart goes out to you if you're on, especially if you're in your 50s and 60s and watching what's happening to your 401ks. The average stock now is down 50%. The market's only down, 30 plus. Most stocks are now down 50% or more. 800-951-0592, Patriot Radio News Hour, halftime on a Friday.
This is the Phyllis Schlafly Report, presenting a daily conservative pro-family perspective since 1983 and continuing the legacy of Phyllis Schlafly. Now, from the Phyllis Schlafly Center Studios, Ed Martin.
Gloria Steinem has been shilling out the propaganda of radical feminism for decades. Back in the 1970s, Phyllis Schlafly debunked so many of Gloria's lies that Gloria Steinem started to refuse to debate Phyllis Schlafly. In a new interview with Variety magazine, Gloria Steinem revealed that she's still stuck in the past. The only new part of her complaining is that now she's adopted the hip new leftist tactic of comparing everyone she disagrees with to Adolf Hitler. In case you're wondering who the Nazis are this time, it's pro-lifers. In the interview, Steinem said that, quote, the first thing Hitler did was to padlock the family planning clinics and declare abortion a crime against the state, end quote. While Gloria is right that Hitler outlawed abortion, she left out one critical detail. Hitler outlawed abortion so he'd have an army of Nazi troops to spread his racist hate throughout the world. That's a whole lot different from the millions of conservative Americans who want to protect the unborn because we believe every life is a precious gift from God and worthy of our protection. On the contrary, Planned Parenthood founder Margaret Sanger was a known racist, and she was a eugenicist who wanted to use birth control to reduce the population of black people. Another reason pro-lifers can't be compared to Hitler is that pro-lifers believe in the sanctity of the family. We want to foster good environments where our children can grow and reach their full potential in the loving care of a mother and father. Hitler purposefully alienated children from their parents. His Hitler Youth programs were designed to train children to rat out their parents for criticizing the Reich. He taught a generation of young children that the state is a better provider and source of instruction than parents. You could hardly say that these policies are characteristic of pro-life conservatives in America today. Gloria Steinem can't make coherent arguments today any better than she could when she debated Phyllis Schlafly years ago. Calling everyone she doesn't like a Nazi won't mask her poor logic. The next time a liberal ridiculously calls you a Nazi for being conservative, give them a smile. You've just won the debate.
This has been the Phyllis Schlafly Report from Phyllis Schlafly Eagles. Despite the outrageous pro-abortion stance of many liberals, the vast majority of American people value human life. More than ever, pro-life voices need to stay vigilant and be heard. At phyllisschlafly.com, we're not backing down. Please, join us in the battle for life at phyllisschlafly.com. Thanks for listening, and join us again for the Phyllis Schlafly Report.
800-951-0592. We've got $35 libs left at $470. We've got $10 libs left at $900. I do not have 20s now. The only 20s left, you're looking at $1,900 for a $20 gold piece. So right now, the best buy I have are going to be those $10 pieces. There's 30 of those left. There's one phone line open, 800-951-0592. Goldman Sachs now says Thursday's jobless claims are up to 2.25 million, could be 5 million by next Thursday. They are calling this now the second Great Depression. Goldman says that they expect second quarter GDP to crash to a record of negative 24% GDP in the second quarter. I mean, that's, what can you say? There's not a, Kramer this morning, there's going to be 3 retailers left, and their names are Costco, Amazon, and Walmart. I don't know. Pretty much, I would venture to say if something drastically doesn't change. And right now, I just don't see. I just told you, Italy just went to martial law. We haven't even gotten to where Italy got 2 weeks ago, where the whole country's on lockdown. By the way, the border of Mexico, the Canadian border is shut. For all practical purpose, the Mexican border is shut, with the exception of essential goods. And I'm sure that some of these medical supplies will flow through from Mexico. Airline travel, stage 4, level 4 alert. If you have friends or family that are outside of the United States, they've probably got less than 72 hours to get their butts back here. And at that point, I wouldn't be shocked if by Monday, no foreign travel will be allowed into the United States whatsoever. Goldman Sachs also saying the unemployment rate, and by the way, every day Goldman gets worse with these numbers. Now they're saying 9%, so they're almost halfway to what Mnuchin said. And I'm going to tell you, that's not enough. That's not high, and it's going to be higher than that. I said $3 trillion in debt. I think the government, we could easily spend $10 trillion here and have it not be enough. This is a huge, huge issue. Distressed debt. Now where they're buying, wow. They're saying Bank of America expecting a surge of defaults in the next 2 weeks. They're saying look for $500 billion of defaults in just the next 2 weeks alone. And again, obviously with what's happening, that's more than logical. If you're just joining the program, our bullion bank, which is located in California, has no product available. No mint in the world is accepting orders. And he thinks that the premiums on gold that is out there will go to $800. So just kind of think about a $1,500 gold, that the cost would be like $2,300, and then I got to have a markup, right? Obviously, I don't think gold's going to stay down. Gold's down because of the liquidity problem. And again, now that the central bank has opened up the floodgates there, we're kind of seeing gold just hanging out. It's up today. Like I said, it's up $8-10 today. The Dow is down 250. They're trying to hold it together. I'm worried about what will happen at the end of the day. I apologize for all these phone calls. I've got friends and family calling me left and right here. Word is that the National Guard is being ordered out in a lot of the states. Pretty much will be, I think, by this time next week, it'll be everywhere. Expect to see security at the grocery store lines to keep law and order. Be calm. I know it's hard to be calm. And I hate to say it, but Eric, he said, go back to the heart of the crisis. By the way, if you're on hold, just please wait. We'll get to you in the order that you called. They never retested that low, that 6,700 point low. And I know I've been saying 14,000 for several weeks now. But we may have a retest. I just don't know that we can go fast enough. The government's behind now. People need money now, and they aren't going to have it. Today they're supposed to sign off on $1 trillion worth of money for bailouts. That won't be distributed, but it'll be, they'll be ready to step in. I have no idea if they're going to wipe out shareholders or what they're going to do with it, but that's not nearly enough. Here you go. The 1,000 stimulus checks that aren't even in the mail yet are already too late. That bill, it doesn't even look like. Hopefully Congress will stay in session all weekend, get a bill passed. People need money, and they need it now, and I don't know how it's all going to work. People are saying, like, it's going to be a sliding scale. The less you make, the bigger the check you get. That makes sense. Of course, a lot of people now are not going to be making anything, and it's too big of a problem to bail out. The U.S. has bought 30 million barrels of crude oil for the Strategic Oil Reserve. They said they'll buy another 70 million barrels. Crude oil has been all over the map the last few days. It's down 6% today at $23.70. S&P was out with a warning now saying high-grade or high-yield debt, that's your junk market debt. They expect to see 10% plus default rates. Bank of America just came out and not 10 minutes ago says that $500 billion of defaults in the next 2 weeks. So you think about this $1 trillion, it's nowhere in the ballpark of enough. And I think that's kind of the biggest problem. My guess is something big is going to happen because of all of this. The insolvencies, I think this is going to be new money. Ready or not, electronic credits are probably on the way. In California and New York, we'll use those as our examples. Citigroup just announced it's closing 1,000 branches. So anyway, 800-951-0592. We'll be back right after the break. 800-951-0592. We got 15 tens left at 900. We got some fives. Arlene will have the number for you at 470. And Arlene is got people on hold right now. Just stay right there, and I'll try to update you on where the next price points are going to be. 800-951-0592. Again, if you're just joining us, our bullion bank has essentially closed. They said that no mints are taking any orders. He can't get any Silver Eagles, any Gold Eagles, any Maple Leafs, any Krugerrands, any Philharmonics, any Pandas. No one is taking any orders, which kind of, makes you worry about what's really happening out here, what this whole thing is really all about. I mean, it's incredible to think. And again, and I know we're talking about human lives here, but even if the worst case scenario is out there, which is 1 million dead here in the United States, what's better, right? And I know it's hard to put a price tag on it, but essentially you've got Jim Cramer, one of the the most famous person on CNBC on the stock channel, saying there's only going to be 3 retailers left in the whole country. And again, the debts and so many companies, you're gonna find out the ugly truth, which is they took those tax breaks from the president and they borrowed money to buy back their own stock. They borrowed money to buy back their own stock, and now those debts are due and they don't have the money. And again, the banks, even if let's just go with, hey, they were much better capitalized this time. Let's assume that's true. It doesn't matter. And you got people are saying, could be 30 million people that can't pay their bills. Every single retailer that isn't a grocer is closed. They got to pay rent. They got to pay they can't make any money, and they don't. Once you're talking about zero revenue. The car companies have shut down. That means they've got no money coming in. But we know how bills work. The bills come every month. Boeing's got no money coming in. And the list just goes on and on and on. And we have not taken anywhere close to the amount of action. And like I said, you can't anticipate something like this happening. But yet this is where it is. Right now, the only thing up is gold and silver today. The Dow is down, the S&P's down, the Nasdaq's down, crude oil's down. Gold is up. It's not up $100, but it's up $10 here, $14.89, $14.90. Silver's up almost 50 cents. $12.50. By the way, for those of you that got to sell silver, I'm paying $16. So that's $3.50 over spot today. If you want to sell us some silver, call us at 800-951-0592. The last of the $10 pieces, like I said, they're at 900. Okay, so we got to thank you. Arlene just gave me an update. There are 16 $10 liberties left at 900. When those become unavailable, I have another 200 that are going to be at 9.25. So there will be another 200 $10 libs. I got 16 left at 900. There's another 200 out there at 9.25 to you at 800-951-0592. As we're watching today, it was the municipal bond market that had to be saved by the Federal Reserve this morning. Yeah, I just know this. I don't even have the dollar total, but it was a record balance sheet increase day. You think about the heart of the financial crisis, and this is making it look like child's play. The central bank has spent a record number. Again, I don't know where the balance sheet sits at, but I believe today it was somewhere in the neighborhood of well over $100 billion. This is above and beyond repos. I'm not talking about the repos. This is just flat out creating money out of thin air and buying the debt market exceeded $100 billion today. I expect that number that number could easily triple. And you think about $100 billion a day for a month, right? You're talking about $3 trillion. And I'm telling you, it could be $300 billion a day. Goldman Sachs is now saying this could be the second Great Depression. Now expects a record 24% crash in second quarter GDP. That would be an all-time record high, exceeding the financial crisis, exceeding 9/11, exceeding the Great Depression. They see the unemployment rate tripling, and I think they're there. And again, now Goldman, just to put this in perspective, a week ago they were at negative 5% GDP. 1 week ago, negative 5. They're now at negative 24. So just as this thing keeps unraveling, Deutsche Bank is now saying that they may need a bailout. So we got the first, and again, these European banks are worse than our banks. They'll probably need it first, but they're all going to need it before it's over. 800-951-0592, Patriot Radio News Hour. Tough day here, final segment here on this Friday. $800-951-0592. There's 11 $10 libs at 900. Then I've got 200 more at 9 1/4. At 800-951-0592. Again, if you're just joining us, the Bullion Bank has informed us no mints are taking any orders, and they have no product. They think that you could see premiums. You know, when gold hit 1,900, the premiums were running like $300 or $400. He thinks premiums are going to be $800 plus this time around. Taxes. The government now has pushed filings and everything, so no tax day is canceled. April 15th is canceled. They're moving it to July, so you don't even have to file. Before you didn't have to pay. Now you don't have to even file. New York has gone. California, the lockdown. Let me read to you Governor Cuomo. These are not helpful hints. They will be enforced. So New York, California is doing it on your honor. New York is not playing games. By the way, New York, an increase of 2,950 cases. New York alone now has 7,102 cases of the virus. These are not hints. They will be enforced. There will be civil fines and mandatory closures for any and all businesses that are not in compliance. So again, I told you earlier, Italy has gone to martial law. And I've been telling you all along, we're just on a path. We're just 2 weeks later than them. It sounds like martial law to me. So if you want to violate New York's order, New York is 100% now of non-essential personnel need to stay at home. I don't even know how many millions of people are out of work just on that announcement. If you think you want to break that rule, there will be civil fines and mandatory closure of your business. So they're going to take your business away if you try to open. That's how I'm interpreting it. That's just what he says. Mandatory closure for any business that is not in compliance. And again, I told you, Arizona, the governor today, the gyms and the restaurants and the bars and the nightclubs. Texas, same thing today. You know, the bars, the restaurants, the nightclubs, the gyms, and blah, 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 blah. California, New York, and Pennsylvania right now have gone to only essential personnel are allowed to go to work. New York so far is the stiffest, saying there will be you'll face civil fines, and we will take your business. We'll mandatory closure of your business if you are caught trying to, make a living. Again, it makes everything impossible. Market purging could lead to a plunge of 74% from hedge funds today. Like I said, good old Uncle Eric. Are we looking at a retest of those $6,700 points? 6,700 points? I don't know. 800-951-0592, Patriot Radio News Hour. Hopefully we'll be here to talk to you on Monday. Take care. God bless everybody. Do the best of what you can.